The following entertainment banter you're about to listen to may contain potty language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
We're going to bring you to a nice seductive evening with the speech on Venom.
Venom.
Venom the movie with Tom Hardy.
Yes. So
It is not out yet. By the time you hear this, it probably will be out.
Yeah, and half of our predictions will probably be wrong, but we'll find out.
But we are here to predict what may or may not happen in this movie that Sony decided to make without the MCU's permission.
Alright, so let's
Let's back up on that. They probably had the permission, it's their rights, but
In association,
you're trying to play ball with Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're trying to play ball with Disney. Don't fuck with Disney. Let's get into it.
So we're talking politics first, obviously, about this, as always.
Well, let's start with this. Sony announced that this Venom show does not interfere with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it does occur in the same kind of timeline.
Alright, that already intrigues me. Because basically what they're saying is, we're going to take whatever scraps you're not using, and we're going to run with it first.
Well, what I took it as is that we're not going to mess with your storyline, but all your characters you've created are in our universe.
Right.
So if they wanted to bring Captain America in it, they're going to use Chris Evans kind of thing. They're not going to ever do that,
No, they
but
won't
that
be
would be
able
the
to.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they were going to bring Spider-Man into it, they would have to use Tom Holland.
See, to me, this seems like a huge liability for Disney and Marvel.
Absolutely.
Because now, just like in X-Men, once they take hold of a character and run with it, it's forever tainted and ruined, especially if it is quote-unquote inside the cinematic universe.
Tom Hardy looks like a great Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
And it's taking place in San Francisco, where Venom goes to be a hero.
Right.
A anti-hero. Whatever. He's not an anti-hero. He's just an unhero.
Well, he
I would call him an unhero.
He leans more towards hero because there's others out there that are worse.
His heroicness is a little, what's the
rough
word?
around the edges?
Rough around the edges. Yeah. Not really kosher.
Alright. I've watched this trailer, and I gotta be honest with you.
Is that the first time you watched that trailer?
No, I've seen others.
No, of the Venom trailer?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's not winning me over.
Can we go back a second?
Oh, go back.
Can we go back a second?
Go back.
Explain to me how Venom comes to be in the comics. Just explain it to me.
Well, I mean, my understanding
Who is Venom?
Well, he's that symbiote creature from space, right?
Where'd you find the symbiotic suit?
Didn't they bring it back from a space mission? Wasn't it James Jonah Jameson's son?
That was in the comics. Not comics. That was in the 90s cartoon.
Oh, but that's not how it originated?
I think it happened during the Infinity Wars.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
I think so. Where Tom Holland is, Spider-Man is on the planet where Thanos was planet. I think they come back with that after that.
Did they?
I think so.
Did they foreshadow that in this movie?
No.
By any chance, Avengers? I was just curious.
So.
Well, it's not over yet. They have another Avenger movie coming out. So
let's go with the 90s cartoon.
Let's back up further. I'm not even going to go there.
You're not going to go there.
Let's go a different route. Let's talk about...
I want to explain where he came from before we go into this damn...
Are you like testing me, or do you
know
the answer?
I know the answer. I know where
then
you're
testing me.
Yeah. I want you to tell the viewers where it came from. I don't need to hear me talk about it.
I don't know where it came. I thought it came from James Jonah Jameson's show.
So let's go with that. Let's go with that. He comes to, it gets back to Earth, right? And it finds its way to Peter Parker, correct?
Sure.
And it likes Peter Parker because of the strength and everything it offers.
Yeah.
Peter Parker is, because he's Spider-Man.
Right.
So Venom, the Venom we all know and love, gets all its powers and DNA and everything and knowledge from Peter Parker.
Right. So let's back up a little bit.
Okay. Where are we going now? Before that happened?
Well, I'm going between the politics of it and the cinematic story arc.
So we're just going back to outside the movie and into the world.
Well, my concern is this, okay? I'm looking at it from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
If you have a great young upstart as Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe...
Correct.
He has not had the opportunity yet to don the Venom costume, wear it, and then get rid of it, let's say, right?
Yes.
He hasn't had that opportunity yet.
No, he has not.
But we're already jumping to all that should have happened to Eddie Brock.
That's what I'm saying.
But that to me seems like a big mistake.
Absolutely. Now they're in San Francisco. That's what I was going to say. Because now you have this. The symbiotic suit was supposed to have all these things from Peter Parker.
Right.
And the reason why Venom becomes Venom how he is, the one we know and love or hate. I don't know how you feel about Venom.
Yeah.
But It's because Eddie Brock and the symbiotic suit hate Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They hate him. Eddie Brock didn't know who Spider-Man was, but he hated Peter Parker.
Right.
The symbiotic suit knew both.
Told him.
And pretty much as soon as they became one, they were both like, we hate him. And that's their anger made him made him them, made him this thing.
But I'm going to interrupt you because my understanding was my understanding was the fact that when Venom turns quote unquote good was Peter Parker Spider-Man and Eddie Brock Venom came to an understanding, right? They Carnage was what I thought brought them together.
Yes.
And so after that situation, they had an mutual understanding, like, Venom, I don't like the way you roll, but you're doing okay, and
that's why he went to San Francisco.
And that's why he went to San Francisco. So that should have happened. So technically, they should be on speaking terms at least, right?
The only way I think this would work in any way is that the movie starts out, he's already Venom, and someone they try to capture him, they try to like he's still fighting with the symbiotic suit a little bit, maybe, and the only way this also can work is if it's in the future.
But see, watching the trailer,
it looks like he gets it.
It implies that he's just now getting it.
Yes, that's my problem. Well, there is rumors that Tom Holland was seen on set and a part of this. But the thing is, I feel like he should have been older.
Right.
I don't feel like him being a high school student would be the best suited because he's already working for the Daily Bugle. We haven't seen any Daily Bugle shit yet in Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock worked for the Daily Bugle.
Right.
He lost his job, lost his apartment, lost his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Pretty much his life was rock bottom, and then he got the symbiotic suit. And he blamed Peter Parker for all of it.
Right. But getting back to this tie-in with Sony versus Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And the Fantastic Four helped.
And the Fantastic Four, yeah.
Yeah, that's another
but
string to the ravel.
Watching this trailer, even Eddie Brock has this, Eddie Brock was not a good character. He himself as a human being.
He was a human being. He was an awful person.
He wasn't straight up awful, but he wasn't the best. Let's just say he wasn't the best.
He was colorful in his own way.
Right. But in this trailer, they're trying to make him be like, no, I don't want to be like this, or I want to be better.
To be honest, the movie trailer, I couldn't tell what the movie was about other than him struggle with Venom.
Right, and it looks like...
And they show Carnage for a split second.
It appears to be Carnage, yeah.
They don't have him in the credits.
And what's interesting is, too, now it's implying, too, that it's happened simultaneously. Venom and Carnage is happening for the first time together.
So do you think, because they're saying someone found the symbiotic suit, it looks like. This is my prediction. It looks like it's going to be like
or
another...
Or was it created? Because they're in labs,
Yeah,
too.
it's true. But so it's to me, it looks like it's going to be another... it's like Sony's way of doing Spider-Man without messing with the MCU. It looks like it's going to be another struggling with who we are, like an inner struggle like Spider-Man is, but with Venom.
Yeah.
But Eddie Brock never struggled that way when he got Venom. They knew they both had the same common goal. They agreed.
They agreed.
That's why they instead of saying they were separate beings,
why it worked. Yeah.
Or one being, they knew that each other were separate.
Well, when we were watching the trailer,
they had an understanding.
I was complaining to you about it as we were watching it at the beginning because the symbiote was doing more talking than Eddie.
I think it talks.
But no, it does. But I felt like
when it was not on him,
it was too much.
Because Venom talks.
Yeah. But my thought was,
it looks like a great
Venom. At the end of the trailer that we saw, they were doing the whole talking in third person. That's how I remember Venom. Where both we
do this, yes, because they have an understanding who they're both.
But they were both talking in unison,
which is what.
Yeah. But in the earlier part of the trailer, it was like the symbiote was just talking to him, and he was talking to the symbiote.
Tom Hardy and how Venom looked definitely are what I expect Venom to look in the movie. Like when it was Topher Grace and Sam Raimi's version, ugh. I mean, we talked about it a few podcasts ago. Mm-hmm. You know my feelings on it. Sorry for you Spider-Man 3 fans.
Yeah, that's right. I did like Sam Raimi's look of Venom better. The face. What I don't like
they ran out of
was
CGI
the body.
Money for the tongue.
The body. Well, yeah.
You wanted a bulky Venom.
I wanted a bulky Venom, but I liked the eyes, the big eyes, the white eyes.
His eyes are big in the
They looked more. His head looks more round in this one. You know what I mean? It looks more like a basketball.
Todd McFarlane's version.
Yeah.
Of Venom.
Yeah.
And that's what Tom Hardy's ones look like.
Gotcha.
A little more.
Gotcha.
A little bit. You have a stray eyebrow. It bothers me. Can you just fix that? Yeah, man.
I'll lick it. Is that better for
Thank
you?
you.
I hope our fans don't see this. This is embarrassing.
We'll take a picture. We'll post that up on the next.
Oh, for God's sake, you are something else. All right, that is hilarious. So, anyways,
talk to me, boo.
We're basing all of this off the trailer, but I personally, I'm probably not gonna go see this in the theaters. I'll wait for it to be a video thing.
You're just gonna wait for my phone call. I'm gonna go, Matt.
You're gonna say it's amazing.
It's either gonna be. I'm gonna tell you it's amazing, even though I'm gonna cry in the theater. Because what if he is there? What if Spider-Man is there? What if they actually do everything they're supposed to? What if they actually it's a flashback and maybe there's like something they do.
What would be cool is if they, because we talked about this before too, is the Spider-Verse. If what would be really interesting twist to this whole cinematic universe is if like in Avengers, right? They all disappeared.
Venom becomes an Avenger. You know that, right?
Actually, I did not know that. That's bizarre. Interesting.
Everybody who's a hero in the Marvel Cinematic world
eventually
becomes an Avenger.
That's funny. Well, what I was going to say is, how interesting would it be if Thanos got rid of them from his universe, but all these characters went to an alternate universe, and that's where this Venom movie is taking place?
Do you think it's taking place in a different universe, maybe?
You know what I mean? Like,
is this the start of the Spideyverse?
Like, they maybe split the story arcs?
Could this be start of the Spideyverse?
I'm just saying, it would be a way to save it. It would be a way to save it if it was a bad movie. You know what I mean? Oof. Dangerous ground we're walking.
That's interesting because they always made up new lines of universes for Spider-Man. They always did that because either a story arc wasn't working, or someone wanted to try something different, or wanted to try Black Spider-Man out. I mean, the Miles Morales storyline, Peter Parker's dead.
Yeah.
But now they changed it to where it's another universe, and Miles Morales is alive at the same time as Peter Parker. Peter Parker is a big CEO tycoon.
Yep.
And Miles Morales is a young kid who's learning to be Spider-Man underneath Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The thing is, they both go by the same name. It's interesting.
Yeah, well, because again,
there was a comic about him changing his name.
It was Ultimate Universes. That's why, and there was a couple of great little mini story arcs like Spider-Man, where Peter Parker from one universe, and because the way it works, in case people don't know, is Miles Morales saw Peter Parker die.
When he was 13.
World, the Ultimates. And then Miles became the Spider-Man of that.
Good comic. I just reread that again.
Of that world.
Gwen and Mary Jane are alive in that world. He was 16 when Peter Parker died.
Yeah. But then, like in the Amazing Spider-Man or something like that, I can't remember which book it was. In that universe, Peter's still alive and well, and they cross paths through some sort of, I can't remember, universal swap, and they meet up, and it's a good story because Miles is like, hey, Peter, so great to see you, because he was his idol and he was alive again. It was really good, and there's other fighters. They're fighting the Green Goblin from the Ultimate Universe, actually, and so Miles was worried that this Peter would die as well, and it was a good story, but we're getting off subject here. Sorry, I don't even know where we were going with this. That's why we banter.
I like Miles.
I do too.
That's
what it was. Miles.
I think it was a great character.
I bought like the first 20 to 30 of his books. It was slow rolling, I'll be honest with you.
It is.
The stories started out really slow.
You all of a sudden turned everyone's favorite Spider-Man. Let's get real. Spider-Man is Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't Spider-Man, I don't think Marvel would be doing as well as it is.
I agree with you.
So when they all of a sudden killed him off in a story arc, and then all of a sudden you have a Black Spider-Man, to me that's not a problem. To me, you're changing the times and you're evolving a story.
Yeah.
And you made this epic storyline of him dying. I thought it was I think it was a great movie, or cartoon, or a cartoon movie. However you want to do it, it'd be great. But a lot of audience did not like that. They wanted Peter Parker. Whether or not Miles was black, could have been white, could have been Asian, could have been anything.
Well,
they probably would have been like,
anybody
no, I want Peter Parker.
Well, if you think about it too, I think they did the 2099 back in the day, and it was a Spider-Man. And when I bought that book when it first came out, I was like, oh, it's not Peter Parker in the future. It's some random other guy.
It's 2099. He's dead.
Well, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if he travels through time or something.
Right.
And but what's cool about these Spider-Men and the Spider-Verse as a whole, which was so well written, was the idea that anything could happen. You know what I mean? Like Miles Morales, what a great introduction as an origin story. How many origin stories start with you watching your hero die and you become a hero?
Well, he got bit by the same spider 6 months before Parker died.
Yeah. And
he didn't know what was going on with him. He didn't understand it, but he saw that
But it's
Spider-Man had
moving
the
to
same.
see
Yeah,
that
of
he was a
course.
witness of Parker's death.
And he felt like he could have done something. So to
Yeah.
him, that would create a
That was
Miles
his
Morales.
Ben
That
Parker.
was his Ben Parker.
Yeah,
Him
exactly.
witnessing he could have done something
And it
to
was
stop
done really
that.
well. It was
Absolutely.
done really well.
It was a great comic. Death
And
of
then,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
That last scene of him walking, I just got chills thinking about it. His last scene
Yeah.
in the comic, him walking off in the distance with Ben Parker
Yeah.
holding on his back going,
Yeah.
"You did good, son. You
Yeah.
did good." But it was only Spider-Man for like a year.
Yeah, he died really young.
Real young.
And then, but
And he
again,
looked at, that was also the timeline of him looking up to Captain America. So that's the same kind of timeline they are in the MCU right now.
yeah. Well,
So is he gonna die?
I don't
They
think
do mention Miles Morales, his uncle, his cousin. They mention things about Miles Morales in this fucking movie in Homecoming.
I don't think they'll kill him. If they're smart, they'll
Keep them both alive.
They'll keep them all.
Yeah.
You know, I love again like Spider-Verse. Doc Ock basically when he takes on the persona of Peter Parker, he chooses to be good and take Peter's weaknesses and go against it. Like he's like, well, Peter would do this to stop me, and it always was his weakness. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use all of these tools to my advantage, and I'm going to whoop the crap out of crime. Like, and he just goes to town. He uses
He
science.
became a better Spider-Man.
He did. In
He
a
even
lot
admits
of
that
ways.
too. He was a better Spider-Man.
Yeah. And so then getting back to the 2099 Spider-Man, like that Spider-Man, he grew up in an era where his uncle is the villain. I think it was his uncle or something like the uncle or grandfather.
I didn't follow 29.
But he's fighting his own family, and his family is corrupt, and he's fighting his own family. These Spider-Men are really, really cool to watch. But we're getting way off Venom subject. We were talking
on
about
Venom?
how
We talking on
We were
Venom?
talking about Venom movie particularly, and
Yeah,
what
the
we
Venom
think is
movie.
going to happen. So if it's an alternate universe, that would be cool.
It's an alternative. How so? What the?
What if
just have in your head.
Miles? What if Miles is? What if they do something like Miles for the?
Does
Spider?
Sony have the rights to Miles?
They have the rights to all Spider-Man?
All
right?
Spider-Man content?
I don't know. I don't know. We should look that
Or is
up.
it just Amazing Spider-Man?
But they didn't call the movies Amazing Spider-Man.
I know. They did the second one. The second rebatch when they remade it.
Oh, that's true.
With
They
Andrew
did.
Garfield.
But I think they did that just because they were.
Can we just
take Switching note that you gears. have
Spider-Man sheets right in front of me?
Yeah,
Just Spider-Man sheets. Just right here in front of me.
we're in my man cave, guys.
These are
in case
really
you
good
didn't know.
quality.
Oh yeah, I bought them for my son.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I bought them for my son.
This is good sheet material.
Yeah.
What's the thread?
Well, if you hurry, guys, you can get it at Target.
What's-
although
what's
by
the
the time
thread
this airs, it'll be too late.
Doesn't he tell you the thread count?
I can't-
Whatever.
All right.
Disney products.
Okay. So, anyways, I'm not excited about this Venom movie. I feel like
I'm intrigued by it.
I
But
think
go on.
it's kind of like
Keep going.
Disney with
Tell
Star
me
Wars.
more.
Disney with Star Wars right now.
Yes.
It's like
you're not happy.
we're gonna make a crappy Han Solo movie, but because we stamped Star Wars on it, it's gonna be amazing to everybody else.
Well, it's just like if
I
they
feel
take
like,
a shit in the toilet and they call it, it's a Star Wars
well,
sequel.
I feel like
Someone will
this
go
is
like,
the same
"All
thing.
right."
They know Venom is a popular character. So they're
They
like,
do.
we're gonna make a crappy movie, but we're gonna stamp Venom on it, and people are gonna flock to see it. That's what I feel like is happening. I feel like it's getting set up for disappointment.
Well, that's part why people saw Spider-Man 3. They saw that there was Venom.
Oh yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go see it. Because when I was at Comic-Con,
Well, and not just
I went
that,
to
but
Comic
the black
Con
suit of
the
Spider-Man.
year they announced Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And they showed the trailer, or part of it. And the whole scene was that whole bell tower scene.
Right.
That was the whole trailer they showed. They just showed us him standing there like a gargoyle, this epic scene that you liked.
Yeah.
And then he jumps down, and Eddie Brock goes, I just want you to kill Peter Parker, and then it drops, and all of a sudden turns into Venom.
Right.
And he leaps out towards the camera. That's all we saw at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it got roars.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. But then we got this
Right
crappy.
down.
Yeah.
Parker. Let's not go
Yeah.
back into this.
We're not going to go back into it. You were, a few episodes back, you were pretty upset about it. But
That was weeks ago when we
it
recorded that one. I was
feels like-
pissed. Weeks, minutes, whatever.
But you, okay, I'm losing my train of thought. The Venom, the actual Venom.
Talk
in
to me,
this.
Goose.
All right, so I feel like we're getting set up for a letdown. You know, like I feel like it's being rushed. I feel like there's nothing in that trailer that says they're doing it right.
Literally, when I heard they were doing a Venom movie, I thought it was a joke. I said, what the fuck, Sony?
Yeah.
Like, you get one good hit from from Disney making Spider-Man. I understand this Venom movie was in the works before Marvel and Sony started
Right.
talking.
Right.
I understand that. But there's no reason why you should have pulled the trigger to make the movie when you have this good thing going on with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Disney's using your character and bringing you in millions.
Yeah.
Money you can cash, money you can spend, money you don't need to waste on a Venom movie that's probably gonna destroy things again. Like, are you stupid?
It's almost like people
Disney's just gonna buy you, Sony. That's why they're buying Fox. They're just gonna buy you and tell you to off.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like one of those things where like their pride and their ego gets caught up really quick, really fast. You know, like, oh, we were successful. Now we can do these things again. Rah! And instead of just like
their stock's
calming
doing
down,
great.
Right now.
Their stock is like, it was at $30 like 6 months ago, and now it's over 50. I mean, it's growing steadily.
Yeah, but let's
see what happens with Venom.
I was gonna say, let's see
Maybe I
what
should
happens
sell it
after.
off before that happens. Shit.
All right, I've been doing a lot of talking about the trailer, but I want my opinion is they're going back into old habits. Sony's going back into old habits. They're just pumping out.
What are old habits? They already been in the same habits. They haven't broken those old habits.
Well, you just pointed out Homecoming. They played ball with Homecoming, and it worked.
And of course, that was Disney's movie.
It was Disney's movie, but Sony had to give Disney
licensing to do it.
Yeah, and so it worked. But what I'm saying is, Sony didn't take that and learn from it. They are still. You're right. They're playing the same song on the record, where they're just gonna do it their way, some weird way.
They're never gonna play ball 100%.
So I guess my question to you is, I feel this movie is gonna be. You know what? There's certain cultures that just love Venom. I'm not. There's certain people that love Venom.
People may just like him as a standalone movie.
You know what I mean?
It
There's
may
a
just
lot of
happen.
people that like anti-heroes. So they're gonna.
It may do great on that aspect,
right?
But it's not gonna do good because we're expecting a
The
Spider-Man
average
aspect.
girl that gets dragged by her boyfriend to go see this movie probably won't want to watch it again like they would maybe Chris Evans in a Captain America movie. Does that make sense?
Well, a lot of girls like Tom Hardy.
Well, okay, but I just feel like this one's just not gonna cut it. I just don't feel that way. Do you?
We're very skeptical. You can tell.
I was gonna ask if so. Is there anything in that trailer that makes you be like, "Oh, this is gonna be good"?
The character looks good.
The design.
The design looks great. The where they're putting it, it sounds great from what I can see. They're only missing that puzzle piece that needs to be there to make
one.
it. It's a big puzzle piece. We're talking like this is a 5-piece puzzle, and it's like the big centerpiece is missing.
You know what's upsetting me about this too? Now that I think about it, listening to you talk about it, is we're talking about the whole Rush thing. It's ironic how we were so hungry for Venom in Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's. You know what's being completely overlooked in this one? Carnage. I would love to see a real good Carnage. And I feel like
They only
Venom's
showed that
gonna-
one clip. It's got to be Carnage, right?
but I feel like this Venom is gonna overshadow the
insanity of what Cassidy is.
The complete fear factor of Carnage. Yeah.
He's loose. He's a huge loose
He
cannon.
is a huge loose cannon. Like, he's like...
Like, Venom can't bring him down alone. He brings in Spider-Man
he
to
has
help.
to, yeah. Venom,
So-
if people don't know Carnage, he's like the most psychotic... Imagine the most psychotic killer, like the Joker. Equivalent
With
to...
Spider-Man's powers?
With
Or Venom's powers?
Venom's powers. It's like the horrific nightmare you could possibly have.
Technically, Carnage is Venom's
yes,
offspring.
Offspring, yeah. Yeah, but he, melds with what is it, Cassidy?
Cassidy, yeah. I forgot his full
Cassidy,
name. Yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
Like, I actually have those 3 comics where he's created. And even in those comics, it's... Back when I was a kid, it was creepy. It was creepy to read.
I played Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo.
Oh, awesome game.
Such a great game.
Awesome
Do you have
game.
that game?
I do have that game.
Can we play that game?
We can play it later.
Where,
Yeah.
I don't see the red cartridge. Where is it?
I think it's
Such
on my Super Nintendo, actually.
God, it's so great.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So, would you recommend seeing Carnage based on what you see right now?
Venom?
I'm not Carnage, but Venom, yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a thriller, and people may like that, and people who know how Venom came to be may enjoy it. Absolutely. But if you're looking for the hardcore, that hair is sticking up again.
It's not gonna get any better.
If you're looking for that raw, like, great film that's gonna like merge with Spider-Man and have this it's the movie you're looking for that's gonna bring it together, this is not gonna be it.
Yeah.
So don't get your hopes up for it, and I hope you don't. I mean, Maybe it'll be unexpected because as you watch the trailer, there's so much out of it. You don't even know what the movie's really about.
No, I mean,
I would
love to be proven wrong. I really would. Because,
absolutely, we're so burnt out by these movies now, and now we're just assuming they're all going to suck.
Well,
unless Disney makes them, and we're going to assume every Disney one's great, and then we're going to see a Disney one that fails, and we're going to be like, what the fuck?
Well, once that happens, you know it's just going to get worse.
It's going to be a snowball effect.
Yeah.
They're going to try to backpedal on it. And
yeah.
Not going to work.
Well, and I think that's the problem, because I feel like, especially with companies that are not Disney and Marvel, it's just like these offshoots like Fox for now, Sony for now. I think the problem that what separates them from Disney and Marvel is the fact that they think this is our one chance. Does that make sense? I feel like Sony would never make another Venom movie. I feel like this is going to be their one offshoot.
I don't know. They've already shown their hand. They will reboot a series within.
Rebooting is different from continuing story arcs, and I feel like they blow their wad in one movie, and then if it tanks, then they reboot. Whereas I just wish they would take the time to tell a story. Who says we can't have 9 movies that Venom appears in? You know what I mean?
Take a page out of Disney's book.
I know,
They
I feel like
played this.
They
slow-balled this shit.
Do you feel like Sony has that mindset, like, hey guys, we can have him in 9 movies, or do you feel like, let's throw it all in and hope it makes money?
Sony's got their hand in a lot of things, and I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. I don't know what their CEOs are doing. I don't know what their CEOs are involved in. You know, like, what are they thinking up in the tower? You know, their ivory tower. What are they thinking about?
Every company, every producer is thinking
money. How do you make more? How do you make more?
Make it while it's hot.
Money hungry.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know, right now it's superheroes, but you know, movies all about French toast will come out. That'll be the next big thing, and everyone's gonna be talking about.
You heard it here first.
French toast. You know what I mean? French toast movies. You know, make it while it's hot. You know, sell those toasters. It's like, but the problem is, I just feel like they don't take the time to really focus on it. I don't know. At least Sony and Fox.
Can I take a moment to say that it's really hard to focus in your man cave?
Yeah, because it's so amazing.
There's just too much shit in here. I thought that was Street Sharks over there. I'm like, what the fuck do you have Street Sharks here? Now I'm thinking about Street Sharks.
That is a very obscure cartoon.
That is a very awesome cartoon.
I can't believe you brought...
Do you have Street Sharks on Curtis TV?
I do have Street Sharks on Curtis TV.
We're going to talk about Curtis TV in about 2 podcasts, because we have to like get down to business on that.
We'll see about that.
Maybe Venom will be... No, Venom was never a cartoon. Did you know that? It was in the cartoon, but it was never a cartoon.
Well, yeah, because he didn't really become popular until later on. You know, Venom, in my opinion, was still a fairly recent character.
He's a newer character from
our generation.
Yeah, he's very new, and he was the character that was like, he was the polar opposite of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, Spider-Man couldn't sense him. His spider senses, like, he was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Peter would have nightmares about him.
Yeah. Well, an interesting fact too is in the comics where Peter was donned on the black suit for a while with the Venom. He wasn't straight up evil. Peter's essence actually kept that thing under control for the most part. There was, as it slowly progressed him to be more violent, but it didn't happen overnight.
What I find fun about it is when you read about, like, when he changed costumes. Peter Parker experimented with many different costumes. Right. Of course, he changed his name a few times too, Waspman and all that, and he had different names. But when he had the black suit, he was Venom, and then Venom became Venom, and then terrorized New York. Peter Parker, Spider-Man saved New York, and then after a while, he married Mary Jane. He decided to go back to the black suit because he wanted something different as well. And apparently, all of New York was scared again.
Right.
So it freaked out people, and Mary Jane was having nightmares about it because she went through that whole Venom phase.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man 3 kind of showed that. And then, so he had to get rid of the black suit again. So he did try to do the black suit again without the symbiote later down the line, which I find very interesting.
I don't want to bring this up, but it's banter, so I've got to do it. You know what we forgot to talk about the last time we were talking about Spider-Man all the way back?
Oh, God, don't bring it up.
I have to. You mentioned Mary Jane and going through Venom problems.
We're at the end of our pod.
I know. I got to bring this up real quick. It annoys me. But Spider-Man 3, right? Sam Raimi, when we were talking about that one.
Yeah.
What's his face? Green Goblin 2, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Harry Osborn Goblin.
He threatens Mary Jane to break up with Peter Parker, and like by killing him or threatening her, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes on her day-to-day living knowing that happened. Does that make any sense?
She didn't go on her day to day. She was upset.
No, but she went to her job. She didn't
What
go to the
else is
police. She didn't go to the police. She didn't go to Peter's. Hey, Peter, this guy's gonna try to kill you. Like, none of that. She just went, okay, and back to my work. Okay, my friend from high school flew in on a flying death board, choked me up against the wall, threatened Peter Parker and my life to break up with him, and then I'm going to go to work the next day? I'm not going to tell the cops? I'm not
or tell my superhero boyfriend?
Yeah.
In the world of superheroes,
That's ridiculous.
In the world where mutants, superheroes, and inhumans and supernatural beings exist, you don't go to the police anymore, man. They're useless at this point. All they are people you can jot down information.
But you just go to work and sing like nothing happened?
She didn't sing too well. She was upset when she was there. You saw that?
Oh my god.
She wasn't happy.
I feel like that was the dumbest loophole I've ever seen in a movie in a while.
That's a good final thought, so I'm going to finish that with that.
Alright. Well, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. I'm Matt.
And I'm done.
Thanks for watching. I promise Joel will talk less in the next video. Stay tuned.